Okay, chaps, in the best of the British manner, we are going to be talking about the election, and it's going to be a great conversation. Here we go. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and this is your fabulous, absolutely super duper host of...
Back to this again.
Cheshire Matters, and this evening we're going to be talking about the general election. Or was it a general erection, as far as Mr. Starmer was concerned? And we have Statsman, the man with the facts, the man who's going to be telling us if we're right or if we're wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay.
I'm right.
We also have Mr. Trevor Nicholls, the man, the Gazelle. He stood in the election, and then at the end of the night, he fell down. But we'll talk more about that later. Say hello, Gazelle.
We certainly will. I'm just come back from my electoral dysfunction, and I'm just coming back down to earth today. Yes, your ex-PPC, the Gazelle. Here.
Right. And
He looks a lot happier, doesn't he?
indeed.
Look a lot
And we have our Scottish correspondent, the Cutter, Mr. Graham Cuttle. Say hello, sir.
Good evening, Cheshire. It's a very happy Graham Cuttle here, very ecstatic. And yes, it was a general erection for us up here in Jonathan, I can assure you of that.
I bet you.
Go grey, go grey, go grey. Well,
I think I have a feeling why the Cutter is extremely happy. Might it have something to do with the demise of the SNP?
It could well be, Jonathan.
Okay, well, we'll bring you in on that. Right, well, let's start off by saying, what have we got here? I know that Starmer is saying that he's got a mandate, but who amongst us actually really feels that he's got a mandate with 20% of a 60% turnout? Be honest now. I know. Look, all the hands go up straight away. They want to talk. We're going to give it to the stats man. Go on, stats.
Oh, they're getting there first. Well, if a mandate's being the most unpopular leader to become Prime Minister, then whatever, mate. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Awful, mate, innit? Oh, I'm not being funny. I was just looking at some stats there. It said reforms. 365,000 votes per seat. Labour's average votes per seat, 23,600.
It's unbelievable.
Something's
I mean, did you know?
Right.
I don't know whether anybody knew this or not, but Starmer's majority has gone down from 24,000 approximately to 11,000.
Yeah. And they didn't even get many more votes than last time.
Well,
So again, they've only won because the Conservatives are absolute garbage. But
okay.
yeah, what a win. Good job, yeah.
Initial comments from the Gazelle. Go ahead, Gaz.
I'm coming at this from a slightly different angle. When you said Starmer's got a mandate, would that be Sam Smith, by any chance?
Yes.
No, that'd be a they them date.
They're saying that Labour won a landslide. I say the Conservatives lost. And it was the Conservatives' election. I was going to say erection then again. It was the Conservatives' election to lose. So Labour's got 412 seats. Now, that's going to make everybody in the Labour Party suddenly puff out their chest and make them think, well, we won something there. Well, I don't think so. On a 20% share of a 60% turnout, I don't think they've got anything to crow about at all. Conservative results, 121. The Liberal Democrats, they had their highest tally. These people were ready to pick up. I think they're like, goal hangers, the Liberal Democrats. They don't do much until the ball comes in and then they just toss it into the net. It's their highest tally since 1923, and they got 72 seats. And this is the one that's going to get the Cutter. The SNP have 9 seats.
It couldn't get any better, really, could it?
It could. 0, but yeah, it's a start.
And I'm glad my vote went towards that as well, Jonathan. Do you know what I mean?
Indeed. We're not going to ask you who you voted for. We're going to leave it at that. We don't want to out you because we know that you're a green at heart. The UK have 5. Sorry, Reform UK have 5.
Excuse me.
What?
Might be 6, actually.
Reform UK have 5, thank you.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I believe.
No, you said the
he's
UK have
defecting.
5. Who are the
What?
UK?
Say that again, Stats.
The one from Northern Ireland defecting.
Oh, you're joking? Is that? Oh, that's hot off the press.
Yeah. Well, he was kind of with them anyway, weren't he? Was the TUV, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, apparently he's going to defect.
Oh, brilliant.
So it'll be 6. Yeah.
So it'll be 6. So
Well, we'll see.
Plaid Cymru and the Green Party have 4 each. And the Northern Ireland MPs, well, not going to talk about that too much, but DUP have got 5, but they lost Ian Paisley. Could you believe that? They lost Ian Paisley. The family have been in Antrim, I don't know for how many years. So I found that quite strange. Anyway, so what's your initial thoughts on those numbers? It's a massive majority. So Starmer's not going to have any problems. Who's going to go first on that?
Starmer's not going to have any problems.
No, not with a majority.
With Angela Rayner, with Rachel Reeves, with the rest of them, they're sharpening their knives already.
Did you listen to Rachel Reeves' speech, Trev? She mentioned reform in it about 100 times. It was great.
I know, yeah, we need reform. Well, you're going to get it next time round, as you said. I'm going to say next year, then.
If they picked the right name.
Anyway, I'll be defecting within a week from Cheshire Matters to reform. That's going to happen next week.
Right. Well, did anybody see Patrick Christie's on GB News? And he gave a breakdown of what he thought had really gone on in the general election. And what he said was, well, he was basically mocking all the cabinet members of the new Labour cabinet for their perceived incompetence and controversial past actions, with the Home Secretary's stance on immigration highlighted as contradictory when she's saying holding up a placard saying "refugees welcome." That's one of them. The Foreign Secretary.
I remember that.
The Foreign Secretary was ridiculed for historical ignorance and for making offensive comparisons involving the ERG and foreign leaders. Now, you heard what he said about President Trump, didn't you?
The racist David Lammy. Oh, my God.
I know. Well, is he going to bend the knee when Trump gets in?
Be lucky if Trump even speaks to him, to be honest.
I think that's going to be the case. Rayner, well, obviously, I mean, did anybody see the outfit that she was wearing when she went into number 10?
I could play off Angela Rayner. You know, I've got a wee soft spot for it.
Well,
Yeah.
by that you mean not such a soft spot.
Well, I'm not saying that, George.
Well, I mean, we know that Starmer's also got a soft touch for her, because when she mentioned the 2 hours, he told her that he had a little semi. So you can take that out. You take that how you want to take it.
Right.
I did see a comment saying that she was almost sort of housing sort of minister, for want of a better word, that had actually lived in social housing, and I thought, no, she's no, because she's sublet.
Sublet. The new Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, questioned on her understanding of gender issues, whilst the new Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, has a very tenuous majority. I think it's down to 500, I think. Go ahead, Mark.
As I say, I tried to listen to that speech by the new Chancellor, but to be honest, it was like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
She keeps saying, I'm going to do all this stuff like we promised, but they didn't say what they were going to do. So keep it vague. I think that's the plan.
Well, I didn't...
Still none the wiser what they're actually going to do.
I watched that speech today, and there was nothing that I could really take a grasp from, except that they're going to actually relax planning laws to build more houses. That seemed to be the key thing to what she was saying. I mean, unless anybody else has seen it, that was all I got from it.
Yeah, she kept saying reform, 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 which was great.
Which was, well, Trevor, that's obviously got to be you then, hasn't it?
Well, of course it is. I mean, I'm not going to spread any rumours. I wouldn't do that. But, there's got to be some defections coming soon.
Well, the other thing is that they appointed Ed Miliband as the Energy Secretary.
He hates energy.
That guy is set to cost us initially 140 billion with his plans that he's got right at the moment. And if he was to actually get to net zero, that's going to put the economy in the red by nearly 1 trillion. It's just not going to work.
They've already released that they've stopped the ban on inshore wind farms, haven't they?
Yeah.
So you're going to end up with a load more of these, unfortunately for Graham, probably around Scotland, I'd say, that they're going to be putting these windmills all over the place. And it's going to absolutely destroy the countryside. I just can't believe it. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but all these wind farms, they're all built over in China. The product itself is built in China. And they're given subsidies by the British government to all foreign owners. Netherlands own a massive amount of these wind farms. There's nothing beneficial in it for us.
No.
We're just paying again.
They used to build them in a company called Ab Fab up north. And then the Scottish government messed that up as well, so they don't build any homemade windmills up north anymore. So they used to be built up north, but not anymore, I'm afraid.
Well, I feel I feel that the relaxation of planning laws is going to help certain things, but it's not going to be the mega answer.
It's not going to be the homogenous people of this country it helps, is it? Let's face it.
No, it isn't.
No.
For sure.
You know, because how many people are building at the moment? I mean, they can't even get the money to do things, and it restricts. So they're saying that planning laws is the problem, and that they need to relax planning laws in order to get the economy moving, of which she advised that there is going to be some form of a budget coming out in autumn, which we're going to find out a bit more. But the first thing that came across to me was they were actually dumping their problems on the previous government. Straight away.
I'm getting bored of it. All you're hearing them saying, they keep going on. The cons, this, the cons, the cons, the cons, there's a mess. We know that's how you got into government. You wouldn't have got in any other way.
Correct.
It's so boring. They're still going to go on about this in 5 years.
Well, that's going to go on for the first 3 years, so you might as well get used to it.
Mm.
Well,
we were going to do this, but now we can't. Now we've seen the books. Now we can't.
That's exactly what she said.
No, but apparently, according to some MPs, all the information that she needed was already out there. All in Parliament. There's nothing new they found out.
So it's all open.
Yeah.
When they used to say years ago, you used to believe them, didn't you? When they used to say years ago, well, there's no magic money tree, you actually believed them. And when they said, well, when we actually get our eyes on the figures, then we'll know the real stuff. They already know it, and there is a money tree.
Yeah.
They're just telling you lies, and they've got access to the figures, same as everybody else has. If you go to the Commons Library.
Well, the first thing that they're going to get into is, I think they're going to get into some quantitative easing, to actually help the economy.
Oh, well, that's going to do us a world of good, isn't it? 3 years ago in this podcast, I said as soon as you start quantitative easing, you put up the interest rates.
Well, no, there's going to be an interest rate cut very, very soon. But I actually...
Well, it won't be if you've got quantitative easing. It's going to go back up again.
Well, listen to what I say, and here's my reasoning. I've got a funny feeling that they're going to get into some QE, because that's going to give the banks more money, and then they're going to hopefully force the banks or convince the banks to spread that about at a better rate of interest so that there's more money flowing in the economy. That's what I think that they're going to do.
Will that work?
Knock-on effects in different ways, but later on, problem. Okay, there was Gazelle with his finger up first. Take it off. Take it out. Take it out.
We've just mentioned this 2 weeks ago.
I know.
You get quantitative easing. You print more money. They give it to the government, and then the government pay our tax on the interest rate as the going rate.
Correct.
So we're just going deeper and deeper into debt. We're paying back the Bank of England and all its subsidiaries. We're paying them a going rate of interest. It's just bananas. A lot of it's bananas. If you go down that route, you go back up to 15% again.
Well, they're going to privatize any profits and socialize any debts. That's exactly what they do all the time. Right. Well, first off, I'm going to take a break there, but I'm going to let Statsman have the last say on that before we go into a break. Now, I would like to say that this is a break for a sponsor, but I can't. So we're going to have a break anyway. Okay, go ahead, Statsman.
Do you know, I'm just bored. It's all the economy with these socialists pretending to be centrists. It's quite obvious what the budget's going to be because the Office for Budget Responsible, what are they called? The OBR, whatever, and the Bank of England and all them people, they're all going to decide what happens.
Yep, absolutely.
She isn't going to have a say in it.
Okay.
Liz Truss didn't.
Well, that's the end of part one.
Just bores me. There's no culture.
No culture.
No one's talking about the destruction of our culture and our people because there'll be no economy.
Well, in the second half, we're going to be talking about the SNP with our Scottish correspondent, and we're going to give you full reign on the floor to talk about culture. How's about that, Stats?
Can do, yeah.
How's about that then, Stats?
Now then, Stammer.
Not allowed to say that. I'll fix it.